mix this paint up. I just got this paint this morning, so it's already pre-mixed. And if you have some paint laying around for a while, it might be a good idea to take it to the paint store and just have them mix it really quick. If not, you know, that's okay too. You can do it by hand. Now this is it has one-part epoxy in it already, and they used to have this type of paint where you'd have to mix the epoxy in there and all that, but nowadays apparently that's not the case. Okay, so I like to use this thing so I don't get the paint all in this little ridge. I'm going to give it just a quick stir here. And the good thing about this type of epoxy paint is I call it epoxy paint because it says one-part epoxy. It's got some shelf time on it apparently. And I did some paint one time years ago, and I had to put the epoxy in it, and then whatever paint I didn't use, it hardened up in the can. But apparently this stuff won't do that. There's certain ones that will, so you know, you'll just have to check that out when you pick up your paint. See, now I've got the lid over on the back side of the can in case I do spill. I don't run it over on the front in case I want to read that later for a mixture, whatever. I'm not going to go too much right at first because I'm just going to be cutting in around the edges, and in fact I might have been able to do that out of the can, but it's okay. I'm going to work out of here anyways later. I have to put this somewhere where I know I'm not going to spill it. And then I'm just going to go around all the edges and I'm going to cut it in. I've got a little, this is a 2-inch crummy paintbrush. I'm going to try that first. I've got a 3-inch here too. I always like to use throwaway paintbrushes. I don't know, it seems to be cheaper. I'd hate to use a $15 cut-in paintbrush and then not get all this paint out of it. And I've got to go around the entire thing by cutting it in first before I get into the roller, okay? And you're just going to take your time. If you haven't done this before, take your time at it. Don't load up too much paint on your paintbrush at any one time. And then kind of drag it along. Are you getting me here, Mrs. Camera Person?
Oh, you betcha.
Oh, you betcha. You could zoom it in if you want. And thank you, by the way, Anna.
Yes, sir.
For helping me with this. Then I don't have to run back and forth to the camera and so forth.
Well, thank you for painting for us.
Yes, yes, I'm in small town, US of A. I'm at a local Chamber of Commerce building, and this is their front little patio. I'm doing some volunteer work here. I'm not really getting paid for this. Oh, poor boy. Poor Joe.
You'll be
But
okay.
it gives me an opportunity. Doing what? Making another video for you. That's what. See, now I can just drag this along and keep dabbing my paintbrush, lifting it up so it doesn't get all over the place. I think you could even do this, Anna.
I would like to, actually.
Huh?
Yeah, I'll get my hands dirty.
And if I can do this, any average Joe can do this, because that's all I am. Average Joe. And I'm going to end up putting 2 coats on here. My nice little knee pad here, so I don't mess up my knees on this concrete. See, I'm kind of going back and forth like that because it's rough stucco on the wall. and it kind of gets in the nooks and crannies.
Joe, I have a question for you.
Oh no.
Don't you think that's too much paint for this small area? I mean, that's a big gallon.
Oh, well, I got a gallon, and the reason why I got a gallon was because they didn't sell this particular paint in quart cans. And that's a good point. If you have a little project and you think you can get away with a quart or two, it might be a little bit cheaper. But if you need a little bit more than 2 quarts, let's say, generally you can buy a gallon for about the same price as 2 quarts of paint. Check your local hardware store and see if that isn't the case. Then you get the whole gallon. So basically you got a half gallon for free. And especially on this paint, I was at first initially I was thinking of getting 2 quarts, because had they have mixed this up with the epoxy and had it dried up in the can after I opened it, after I painted, then I would have hoped to have just used 2 quarts.
Right.
Okay, but when he said this was, I could only get it in a gallon, and the fact that it's not going to dry up, whatever I don't use. I may end up using a little less than 2 quarts.
Okay, then we can use it for another project.
Of paint. Yes. Oh, what's this extension cord doing here? Hey, let's move that extension cord, shall we?
Yes.